Man, I am Dave, man. Will you... Come on. Open up the door, will you? I got the stuff with me. I think the cops saw me.
Who is it?
Come on, open up the door. It's Dave.
Who?
Dave.
Dave?
Right, man.
Dave's not here.
Oh.
China arrested 100 Christians after blocking their phones and social media.
On Sunday night, Chinese authorities launched coordinated raids against Early Rain Covenant Church in Chengdu, the provincial capital of Sichuan. About 100 Christians from the Protestant Church, which is not sponsored by the Chinese government, were taken into custody. As the raid took place, church members' personal social media accounts and cell phone group discussions were blocked around 9 p.m., and the church's telephone line was cut. Google has agreed to work with the Chinese government to create a censored search platform, sparking global protests from within the company. This raid, reported Monday by the South China Morning Post, sends a chilling warning as to exactly what the Chinese government would do with the help Google has offered. China's government seems intent to implement George Orwell's 1984 with facial recognition, data mining, a social credit system, and roving electronic doves to watch over citizens. The communist ideology empowers the government to exercise tyrannical control over its citizens, and just 2 months ago the world's eyes were open to the horrific camps China uses to re-educate Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang. President Xi Jinping has declared that religion in China should be Chinese in orientation, an outright threat to religions that find their basis in the Middle East, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The Sunday night raid suggests that China has no compunction in using technological power, surveillance and blocking, to target individuals before arresting them for unsanctioned religious worship. Zhang Guoqing, assistant deacon of the Early Rain Covenant Church, was released on Monday morning after his arrest in the raids. He told the South China Morning Post that he is now being watched around the clock by security personnel in his home. Zhang was headed to the home of Pastor Wang Yi, whose house was raided. The pastor and his wife were nowhere to be found. His home was ransacked. It was a mess, Zhang told the Post. The police said our church is an illegal organization and we cannot attend any more gatherings from now on. These Christians had their faith effectively silenced by terrifying, 1984-style government power. Many of the church elders are still in hiding. Police tracked down church members and asked them to sign a letter pledging never to attend further worship services. This round of crackdown is unusual as it seems that the authorities want to close the church down for good, elderly Ying Qiang told the Post. Our social media channel accounts such as WeChat were not closed in previous rounds and they have taken a large number of our members into custody this time. The scale was unprecedented. Li pledged that the church would continue its illegal worship services, regardless of the attacks. Even if we are down to our last 5, worship and gatherings will still go on because our faith is real, he declared. Persecution is a price worth paying for the Lord. We would rather live through it than to hide our faith, and we hope more Chinese churches will speak up and stand with us, the elder added. China aides Bob Fu told the Post the raids represented a major escalation of religious persecution in China. He reported more than 10,000 cases of detention of Christians this year, an increase from the 3,000 cases in 2017. In September, Beijing police closed the Zion Church, one of the largest Protestant churches in China with more than 1,500 regular attendees. Last year, China banned performances of Handel's Messiah. As Christmas nears, Christians in China and across the world look to the second coming of Jesus Christ. For Chinese Christians who find the government silencing their phones before a raid, Jesus' second coming cannot come fast enough.
It's no secret that North Korea is a horrific place for Christians, with a reclusive government in their capital routinely persecuting and murdering Bible believers. One particularly disturbing story from Vernon Brewer, president of World Help, a humanitarian group, shows how the government tricks children into telling on their own parents, much like Hitler did. brewer shared the story of a little girl named Eun, who was told by her third grade teacher that she had a special assignment to go home and find a book, and if it was the proper book, she was told she would be rewarded. In the end, Eun discovered a Bible and told her teacher. The next day she received a prize at her school, but when Eun returned home, her parents weren't there. It's hard to imagine such cruelty that would unknowingly turn children on their own parents. On the surface, Christianity does exist in North Korea. Its constitution on paper vows to protect religious freedom and forbids discrimination based on one's faith. In my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, this is just fodder for the mindless progressive puppets here in America that basically hate God anyway.
This isn't a spoof. These are up in New York City. The woman is holding a Bible. She has a line through her head with the words, "Keep New York City trash free." Now, the artist of these posters that are up all over New York City, he claims it's just a way to start a dialogue. That old ruse. Nevertheless, it demonstrates something's changed in this country. There is more animosity toward believers, and there's certainly a lot of animosity toward God and His gospel. It's a little scary these days to share your Christian faith. Nevertheless, we must find the courage to be obedient to the Great Commission.
I find it truly amazing that many in America today have no idea this is going on. They close their ears and their eyes and their mind to the very atrocities going on around the world. This has always gone on. But as long as the people are indoctrinated into the dumbing down system, we see it all over the streets today. We see it in the workplace. We see it everywhere. People are nothing but mindless sheeple, and they will be led to the slaughter by the Illuminati. That is real. In 1967, this was clearly told. In the 50s, this was told. In the 40s, this was told. This was happening. And look where we are today. North Korea, China, many other countries around the world. Look in the Middle East. They are slaughtering Christians by the hundreds of thousands. And of course, the progressive left here in America couldn't care less. They hate God. They hate you for believing in God. The so-called right is not any better, ladies and gentlemen. They are not stopping the persecution of the Christians. They are not stopping the persecution of the bakers and the business owners all over America that are Christian. We're being persecuted at every turn. And if you turn a blind eye to this atrocity going on in the world and in America, then God has a special place for you. Think twice, because you know what that place is. And if you are persecuting Christians in America, then hey, you deserve what you get. Until next time, this is No Way.